Thank you for tuning in to the Patricia Show. My name is Patricia. Please press like and share if you would like to share this video with someone who you think needs it. And also press subscribe. I'm a little under the weather today, been like that for the last couple of weeks. That's why I had a rerun show on last week. So if I cough, please excuse me. Okay, let's get right into it. I want to talk about today how people always use when you're choosing you could either choose the light or the darkness. I've talked about this, I don't know how many times. You should at least understand it to some point now. Okay, so when you talk to people about the light, I don't think a while back people didn't call it the light. They would just say, positive thinking. And you would get ready to talk to people about, trying to keep their thoughts positive. And they say, I know. Yeah. That's that positive thinking stuff. Oh, yeah. I heard people say if you think positive, positive come to you. And they just brush it off. So this is what I want to talk about. I think before, like a long time ago, I used to think, why do people just brush that off for positive thinking stuff as if that's a bad thing to do? It should be a good thing to, think positive. So why are people brushing that off? As I grew more and evolved more, I understood what that positive stuff was, and that's why I've termed it the light. So, why is it that if you align yourself with this positive stuff, as people say, it brings such good things in your life? Or what is this positive stuff in the first place? Your authentic self, your God self, is pure light. And pure light is positive. So everything aligned with that light would be that of positive. So when you are thinking this, what you call positive stuff, you are aligning yourself with your God self. If you continue to align yourself with the dark stuff, you're not connecting with your God self. You want to go back to your original self when man was first created on this earth. We had powers that were unbelievable. I remember my mother telling me when I was a little girl, like, we used to communicate or could be in the same room with masters that had passed on. In other words, there was no veil there. If somebody passed on, we would just, see them and still could communicate with them. If a master that had evolved enough to become a master had wanted to communicate with us, or an angel, because you might understand it better if I say an angel, it was very easy for us to communicate with them, because even though they weren't here on the physical earth anymore, there was no veil between the physical earth and them. Just because you had passed on doesn't mean I'm not going to ever see you anymore, because they could easily transport or transform their self back to this vibration and you could still communicate with them. Now you can't do that because we have chosen the darkness and you're not of the pure light. When you're of the pure light, everything in your world changes because you're going back to your authentic self, your Christ self, your God self. So if you want to call that positive thinking stuff, at least understand what that stuff is. So a lot of people, when you start telling them to align with the light or positiveness, clearly they don't understand, because they just think if I just align with this people just tell me to align with this positive stuff and it's going to make me change. They don't understand what this positive stuff is. This positive stuff is your God self. It is pure love. You know, one day I was talking to this lady and I was telling her that come, in the future, in our future generations, the earth would be filled with all love. We were on the process now of there's going to come a time where there's no negativity on the earth. It's only going to be pure love. If I'm not mistaken, I think Nostradamus had even, gave this prediction. And this lady said to me, pure love? And I said, yes. She says, oh, I wouldn't even know how to handle pure love all the time. And I said, what do you mean? And she said, girl, I'm always filled with crisis or negativity happening in my life. She said, I wouldn't even know how to deal with pure love. Now, that's pretty bad to say. But think about it. Have you been dealing with so much negativity in your life that you wouldn't even know how to deal with pure love on a constant basis? If pure love would come down right now and just fall from the heavens, the energy of pure love just fall down on you, how long could you actually handle it? Could you go through your day-to-day life with pure love? Because if it's falling on you, obviously you're not going to have any more problems. No negativity could come near you. No spiritual attachments. Only that of God's divine light and love would be able to enter into your energy field. Could you deal with that? Now, if a lot of you are honest, you probably couldn't, because you don't even know what it is to even be in pure love all the time. Most of us have only been in the presence of love when we love our children, we love our mother, we love our father, that family type of love. We don't even know what it's like to have or be filled with that divine love that surrounds us so much that you can't even catch a cold. You can't even catch a flu. You can't catch any illness, because that a divine love will consume it and annihilate it before it even enters your energy field. Think about that. What would that be like to actually live like that? I remember thinking about that when I was like a teenager. And I was thinking, I really want that. That is what I really want. I want to be able to live my life in pure love. And I'm going to tell you something now, especially recently. So I know this is coming from that God self within me. I feel that I want that. It's almost like pushing me. Something deep inside of my being is pushing me to change my life, where I'm going to live in that pure love, that all of my thoughts is that of love. All of my actions is that of love. But the thing is I don't know how, because I've never lived in it. So how do I know how to create it 24 hours a day in my life? I don't. Excuse me, because I feel a little emotional. Because this is so true for me. I'm feeling this deep pushing me to just desire just want to live a life of pure love. And I think maybe I spend too much time on, see, I be thinking like, okay, how do I live pure love? Maybe I could just repeat it all day. Love, love, love. That's what I be thinking. And then as I'm sitting here talking to you and I'm experiencing that deep feeling that I've been feeling deep inside of me, pushing me more and more to pure love. I don't think that's how it's done at all. I read this. It's in this book a long time ago. It was telling this story about this little girl. She lived in a foreign country. I can't remember where it was. I think it was Switzerland, but I'm not actually sure about that. But anyway, when the girl was a little girl, the only thing she did all the time was keep her thoughts, feelings, everything on love at all times. She didn't allow any more thinking to come in her life, anything but love. When she was a young girl, as she grew older, I think they said that when she got to the age of like 12 or 13. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Let me take that back. She was 9 or 10. When she got like 9 or 10, she really started feeling this, love. I mean, she had been thinking about love all the time. So the feeling of that love started radiating all around her. When she got like 11 or 12, when people would come into her being, like they said, a neighbor had a hip problem. And the neighbor came, was walking past her house, and she had spoke to the neighbor, asked the neighbor, how you doing? And the neighbor said, oh, I've been in so much pain. My hip really been bothering me. I hope I'm feeling better. And the little girl said, yes, you'll be feeling better. And they said the just less than 5 minutes, this lady was in this little girl presence, and she began to feel the love radiating from this child. The love was so strong till later that day, the lady had healed and her hip had healed. When the preacher, whoever it was, began to investigate this a little more, that's when they realized that everything in this little girl's being was that of love. So people were beginning to come, when people would come around her, the little girl was healing them from her energy of love. So if you came in this child's vibration frequency, you were going to be healed because her love was radiating so strong just by her focusing on it in the last few years. So this is that positive stuff that people will say when you're trying to get them to focus on the light. This is the positive stuff. You want to live your life in that positive stuff so that you can not only transform your world, so that you can transform the world. Because everybody around you will begin to feel that positive love that you're getting up, that you're feeling. And people often say, like, what is that positive feeling, that I'm feeling coming from you? I want to do that. I want some of that. So you never know when you begin to immerse yourself in those positive things. Other people might realize this is a good thing and I want to radiate the same thing. And then they begin to do it as well. And it only takes one person to bring a change in our entire earth. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Patricia Show. Have a good week.